Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good. Fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts. I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong. I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth. Can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about. Have your cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round. I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Anything negative, cause I just wanna hear it out your mouth, yeah. Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big box, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase them? Face it, I don't give up quick, I don't give up, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it, I promise.
What is good, everybody? It's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero, and we're back at it again for another episode of Future Finance, Financial Strategies. First and foremost, we've had some new subs join the dog pack, and I'm going to give them a shout out. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. First off, we've got Evolved CA. Thank you for your subscription. Mandrell 211, my bro. Keeping eyes on everybody in these YouTube streets. Thank you for your subscription. Another homie, Mayo Monkey, bounced around. We've talked a few times back and forth. Thank you for finally subbing, joining the dog pack. Da Vinci 4D Clever, thank you for subscribing. Alexis from Texas was going hard in the chat the other night. Thank you for subscribing.
I don't know that.
Oh, she doesn't know that. Uh-oh. Other Alexis just chimed in on the conversation there. Good grief. So, shout outs to everybody who subbed. Obviously, best way to support the channel outside of donations is to like, share, and subscribe. Definitely share this with your friends. This one is a live release. You guys get it the day of. It is hot. You can drop that link anywhere you like, because we're not trying to get rich by ourselves. The next thing is our sponsor of the show from last week, who had the highest donation, hit the highest cash app on Guns and Butter. We always appreciate when Dr. Nakumbe rolls through, is Dr. Nakumbe. Now, Dr. Nakumbe's page is pretty interesting. If you guys are looking for relationship advice / coaching, he has a really interesting show that comes on. Unfortunately, it comes on Thursday, so I don't get to tap in. I have to do the rewatches. But he has a relationships and intimacy show that he does with Coach K. And it is fire. Like, they drop some gems over there. So definitely, if you guys are not subscribed to Dr. Nakumbe, definitely give him a sub. He doesn't seem like he's promoting mostly on his channel himself. His show is on Black Man Unfiltered Network. So you can sub and catch the updates for that show over there. I'm pretty sure it is a Thursday show, because every time they're doing the live, it's when I'm doing my live, a little bit before me. But definitely shout outs to him. He's a huge supporter of the platform, huge supporter of the channel. We appreciate you, Dr. Nakumbe, and we want to give you a shout out. Now, let's jump into this. We're going to get straight to the points today, because next week I will have updates on the journey into the private banking relationship with Citibank. Actually, I'm probably pivoting that episode into if you're going to have a bank, why one of those banks, because I believe in having multiple bank accounts, but one of those banks definitely needs to be one of the big five, because as these banks condense, it's going to get ugly out here for people. So we're probably going to go do a dive into that the next episode. Actually, I'm making a note of that now. Making the note. One. Gotcha. Okay, so we made a note of that because we're going to dive into that. But I had a couple of interesting pieces of information that I saw this morning because I am running horribly behind this week. So this is actually, when you see this get uploaded, it's going to be uploaded, and I'm probably going to set it as a premiere. So for those of you who are catching the premiere, thank you. Yeah, we're going to start. I got horribly busy this week. This week has been insanely busy. Like I did a panel on Black Man Unfiltered. That was wild. The day after was wild. We've been slammed at work. We're working extra hours. We got to put in some extra stuff. We got to get some more money flowing in here. And while we are working smart, there comes times where it's crunch time and you just have to work hard. And so we're going to get back to working hard because that's what men do. When it's time to work, it's time to work. Let's go to the next tab. Okay, so the first story that I got for you that we're going to dive into really quick, I'm just going to give a little blurb on this, and then we're going to keep it moving because while being rushed, I'm having to record this before heading to work. So, yeah, the rush is on, but I like it. Pressure makes diamonds, people. Let's share this tab. Okay, so this is from Reuters. U.S. banks rethink social media as a threat, not a marketing tool. Interesting. This is coming out of New York today, May 18th. Bankers are beefing up risk management, monitoring, and emergency procedures around the use of social media after an internet-fueled run toppled Silicon Valley Bank 2 months ago and sparked turmoil in the industry. Now, the bank is mad that we're talking. That's the gist of what we're getting out of this here. This is wild. Like they're upset that the information travels fast. Well, the same way good information travels fast, bad information travels probably 2 times faster. We're talking to each other. The internet is a thing. We are not simply being here to, roll over and die at their behest. Like I think that while they're looking at it as a threat, it's like you can't keep bad information. Like if somebody goes to your bank and they can't get their money out or the money's not there, they're going to tell their friend, and hopefully they tell their friend, and then eventually we all know about it and your bank just sucks. Not only that, we also get to see the Moody's reports that say that like your bank's finances aren't actually in the greatest position. These are kind of things that previously were behind the veil that we can now see and hear about in lightning speed. The hive mind, as far as the internet is concerned, as far as social media concerned, is a thing. Like you have the ability, should you choose to tap into it and know everything all at once. I mean, they just posted this news story 18 minutes ago, and now we're talking about it. Now it's on my channel. And if you guys share it, you guys like it, it gets in the algorithm. A bunch of other people are going to know about it because we have that capability now. And, maybe we just don't tell people that they can't get access to their money. Like maybe we do that. Like maybe that could be a thing. And in all honesty, it's not like 100% blaming the banks because the issues that they're facing now are not necessarily of their volition. We have Moody's downgraded US Bank, which is here locally in my area. I'm seeing banks that I'm seeing now. And then they also downgraded UMB Bank, and those banks are not making outlandish investments. This is 100% our government ratcheting up the levers that they have, making the investment tools that were previously safe no longer safe, which is another topic. But now the banks are complaining about social media. It's great. I love it. I love it. So moving on. In boardrooms across the United States, executives are devising programs and plans to counteract online threats, including rumors about the health of banks that could lead to deposit outflows or weigh on the stock, according to 7 bank industry executives and analysts. Okay, so first of all, these are not rumors. I mean, when your bank gets downgraded by Moody's and they say, "Hey, this bank isn't necessarily giving us numbers that we like," and the analysts are saying that's not a rumor. Us talking about it is not a rumor. Us talking about the facts is not a rumor. We've got to get past this space where the banks are looking at. I mean, if they're going to look at everybody as the enemy, then you're just not going to have banks, because at that point, like if that's the case, if us commenting on the banks is rumors on the bank's facts, if the bank gets downgraded and we talk about it and it's a rumor and you feel that it's not safe for your money to be there, the only difference between now and times prior is that people are getting hip to the game and they are moving based on the information that's being given. And they're going, "Hey, oh, my bank, it might not be safe to keep my money there if it's over 250,000." And then if people are worried about their bank collapse and they don't want to deal with that mess, they're just taking their money out too. I mean, we have the right to be informed as people who utilize these things. And the banks don't like it. And I understand. But the bank is in business to make money, and they make money off of you. So if they're not doing what they need to do, or that's not where you need to keep your banker, it's not working for you, then don't keep your money with them. There's plenty of other options. I mean, in all honesty, I've had a stream about this before. The only value that I see in banks right now, beyond any of the other available options, such as Venmo, such as your PayPal, such as my personal favorite, Cash App, the only benefit that the bank gives me that none of those other avenues give me is bill pay. And I think PayPal has bill pay. I just don't like using it. Honestly. I'm a Cash App guy. Like I'm team Cash App all day. Maybe one day we'll get a sponsorship from them because I love Cash App a lot. But if Cash App had bill pay, I would definitely be getting rid of at least one of my banks. 100%. Like 100%. 110%. If they had bill pay, like I'd be set. Like I mean, technically speaking, I wouldn't need anything but Cash App. But yeah, this is sad news. Like they're labeling social media as a risk because the consumers are informed. Like that doesn't seem good for your business if an informed consumer base is a threat. Like I mean, your business model might need some looking at. I don't know. Okay, on to the second and last story. We've got some quick hits for you because I didn't want to leave you with nothing, and I didn't want to push this back and cram too much stuff in it because then the episode would be super long. So in order to keep on schedule, we're gonna hit the quick hit stuff this week, and then we'll dive into some more meaty stuff next week. Now this one is a little bit disconcerting. Americans eye buy now, pay later to gain more financial flexibility. Now, the way that this is worded is the issue, because we've talked about this, because I personally am also a utilizer of buy now, pay later. The issue being is the way that I utilize it is to free up liquidity so that I can buy assets. Because like what I'm currently doing and the strategy that I'm currently implementing in my finances is I'm not trying to spend my money on, or I guess I'm not trying to spend any amount of funds that require any type of interest on anything but assets. So like I'm trying to shift it to where I'm using everything that I have available to just buy assets. And the reason I want to do that is I can get more money into the market that way. That's realistically what it is. I'm a firm believer, and we'll be talking about that on the show Guns and Butter tonight. Tap in, starting at 7:30 Central. I'm trying to shift over to where I am fully utilizing every avenue that I have. So if given the option to borrow or be given cheap money, I'm going to take that cheap money and I'm going to buy assets with it. The one thing that I also do is like with large purchases, like splitting them up, like that can make sense because it frees up my cash to be able to get into the market. I've noticed that you can do the buy now pay later on damn near anything. Like it's like they're like, please spend $100, and you're doing a buy now pay later on $100. Like that's wild to me. But people are out here doing it, and it seems like they're setting themselves up for a long-term disaster. Now, a lot of people could say, well, Reckless, your strategy of buying assets on credit and leveraging could also end up in a disaster. And I'm like, well, if something happened to me and I had to file bankruptcy, the interesting thing is, or I mean, even if you just got into a space where like you just didn't pay your debt back, I still get to keep the asset. Like nobody's coming to repo the assets unless I obviously leverage into a house and don't pay my house note. They'll come repo that. But I mean, if I'm banging credit cards to buy assets, I'm borrowing that money. Credit cards don't repo assets. Credit cards actually don't repo anything. Like we all know this. You spend up to the hilt, to your eyeballs in debt for your Gucci belts, and then you have to file bankruptcy. They don't take your Gucci belts. Like we know what this is. And I mean, for me personally, it's a risk reward. Like you should be mitigating your portfolios and looking at it from that angle. But like right now for me, I mean, I'm getting ready to, I'm retooling my whole budget for this savings for this house. Like, because I don't think I'm going to hit, well, actually, I know I'm not going to hit the target. So like I'm looking at another 12 months out. And like, if it's going to be another 12 months out, I don't want to go into a further recession, depressionary period with any debt. So first thing that's happening, we're clearing the floating debt like it's going away. Like I'm just not going to have any debt. We're going back down to zero debt. And I'm just gonna work with what I got and get money in the hopper and be ready to pull that trigger when the time comes. I'm like, it just doesn't make sense to me that, well, actually we need to go over that in the next video too, but it just doesn't make sense to me to be accruing additional debt because the buy now pay later stuff, most people are not paying later. Like that's turning into an interest bearing debt. And if you don't pay those off, now, if you're using it through your credit card, it's a little bit different, but like most of that, like Klarna and all that stuff, you just like, you start paying ridiculous interest if you don't pay it. Like with your credit card, it just goes on your credit card and then it's your interest. But like they give you the ability to buy now, pay later at 0%. Which, depending on how your finances are set up, could be beneficial. But like a lot of people are doing this to stretch and finance a lifestyle. If you're financing your lifestyle, you're hustling backwards, like you're setting yourself up for failure. You should be financing your assets to acquire additional assets on top of the ones that you're already doing. Like you should have your budget. And then for me personally, the way that I'm trying to retool it anything extra that I can get my hands on, like whenever they're giving me these free money offers, is one of the reasons I like being with Citibank and having an established relationship with them and working into it. Is on my credit card, they're giving me 0% interest on balance transactions, which with those comes a bunch of blank checks for balance transfers. Well, you can just deposit those checks into your account. So they're just giving me free money at 0% until February of 2024. Now, if I got something I can do with that money, or I have something I can deploy that money on, then I can just write myself that check. I get the cash. I can deploy the money. It doesn't like it. That's, to me, that's free money. As long as, I mean, obviously you're paying it back, but like you have 0% until next year. Dope. Like, make some moves, buy some assets. I'm not using it to go get a Gucci belt. I'm using it to build wealth. So this doesn't look good. Like, the Fed needs us to stop buying stuff, and people are doing buy now and pay later to buy more stuff. That's literally the opposite of what the Fed wants, which means that like they're going to keep pushing until you guys don't have jobs. This is going to be rough. It's going to be a rough ride. It is going to be a rough ride if this is the way that people are moving nowadays. I mean, we're out here talking about how much money we're making. I mean, I was on a panel with some young bucks yesterday that I watched, and they just kept referencing back to how much money they made, and I'm like, you're on YouTube all day, and apparently you're getting all the chicks. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. And hopefully they are not buying now and paying later. You never know, though, because YouTube space is weird. But when this tide goes out, most people are going to be exposed as having to swimming with no trunks, man. Like, y'all going to be out there naked. It's not going to be good. I would strongly urge that if you don't have a set plan in place, to not use these tools, because every tool ain't for everybody, and every tool ain't for every situation. And this is going to be a slippery slope financially. Like, it doesn't take that much. And this is somebody who believes in a floating level of debt, and it don't take that much to touch it. Like, it's really like you make a couple of decisions. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, I'm at the $5,000 marker. Oh, we're gonna have to make some pivots. And the deal is, like, me personally, like with floating debt, like for me, I always have the money to pay it back. So now that we're making the pivot, it's like, cool, okay, we'll remove the cash, we're gonna remove that debt. And the way that I look at that is I'm buying back that 27 potential percent in finance charges. It clears out that. So like now I don't have to worry about that money. Now that money can just go towards stacking more assets. But this could go bad for a lot of people. And I just want to make sure, I just wanted to go ahead and call it out, scream it from the rooftops for you. You heard it from Reckless Ray Dinero first. This is going to be the first story. They're going to be following up with, oh, people are struggling. The debt, they're all in debt. We're all in debt. Somebody come help us. We don't know what happened. We're in debt right now. And this isn't going to be well. It's not going to be a happy ending to this story. Like, the follow-up to this story is not good. The follow-up to the US Bank story, worrying about social media, they're just gonna have to do better, because like we're not gonna stop talking. Cat's out of the bag. But yeah, don't buy now, pay later if you don't have a plan. It's very important, especially with the times that we're going into, that you are establishing a financial plan and that you're following it as closely as you possibly can. And it needs to be a plan that's actually workable, that you will follow. Because you can plan to the hilts. You can plan super far out. But if it's not something that you can actually do, like setting up a savings plan that you actually can afford and not going out to make the additional income so that you can afford it, doesn't do you any good, because now you have a plan you can't act on. It has to be a workable plan. And with that, we're gonna close it out. Again, for those of you who are catching the end of the video, let me know what you guys think about this. Are you guys buying now and paying later with no intent? If you are buying now and paying later, let's have a discussion down in the comments. Like, how do you utilize that? Are you utilizing it to extend your lifestyle, or is there a plan attached to it? If so, be nice to share with the dog pack what that is, because that's how we build together. As a reminder, ways to support the channel. There's a bunch of ways to support monetarily down in the comments. Liking, sharing, and subscribing. The best ways to support the channel for free. Thank you guys for bearing with. Obviously, this is going to be dropping a little bit later today than normal, but we kept it on schedule, and I am proud of myself for that. Once again, it's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero, and until next Thursday, we are signing out.
Let's go. Let's go. I pull up.